Okay, in Mpumalanga there is that court case involving a school pupil accused of, in Limpopo rather, of assaulting fellow pupil, the late Lufuno Mavhunga, and that's been postponed. It's believed 15-year-old Mavhunga took her own life after a video showing her being assaulted went viral on social media. Her suspect appeared in the Toyoando Magistrates Court today. She'd been in police custody since she was arrested last Thursday. Other pupils linked to the alleged bullying have been suspended from the Mbilwi Secondary School. My colleague, that's eNCA reporter Lindokuhle Xulu, is tracking that story for us. Good afternoon, Lindo. I understand you've managed to speak to the NPA, and they are saying that the charges have now been changed from common assault to assault to do grievous bodily harm.
That's right, Praten. The NPA says that upon reviewing that footage, that video that circulated on social media, which might have been the cause for Lufuno's taking her life via a suicide, they're saying that after viewing that video, they are thinking that perhaps they need to, in fact, change from a common assault and to assault with GPV. But what we are getting from the NPA is that they have also asked for a postponement to this particular case, saying that the first appearance of the 14-year-old happened with a different magistrate, and they're saying that while the magistrate is in absentia, is not here today, they wanted that that particular magistrate be the one to actually continue with this particular case, and it must not be allocated to anyone else. But we have been able to speak to them. One of the things that is coming as a development, Raten, is what you've mentioned, the change from the assault case, from common assault. But let's take a listen to Mashudu Zangi, just giving us a sense of what it is that made them to try and change this particular charge of assault. Let's take a listen to Mashudu.
So we know that the first charge, it was common assault. We've changed the charge, now is assault GBH. So it's under Schedule 2, according to Child Justice Act, is serious offense. So the docket is going to be referred to the office of the DPP to give instruction or to give us the certificate in order to proceed with the matter.
And what is it that caused the change in terms of common assault to assault with the GBH?
The common assault is just one slap. But we know that the video was viral. We saw that there are lots of kicks and open hands and fists. So that is why it has been changed.
Now, Linda, we understand that the suspect in this case, who's appeared in court, is 14 years old. What do we know about her, and how was she?
Well, Praten, we were able to speak to the attorney, Mr. Kagiso, just giving us a sense of how she is doing. But what she says, what the attorney says, is that he believes that this matter should have continued today, that the client is eligible to be released in the custody of the parents. What we know so far is that his client, that is the 14-year-old who was seen in that viral video assaulting Lufuno, is in fact in custody, but she is in a child center. But he has been saying that she's a 14-year-old, she's been separated from her mother, and she's not coping with this whole ordeal, particularly because there are allegations that this has led to Lufuno committing suicide. So there are all of those things that they believe that at this stage, as the 14-year-old deals with this particular matter, she should be in the care and in the support of the mother. But let's take a listen to the attorney, just giving us a sense of the state of mind of the teenager at this stage as she faces these charges of assault.
You must understand that what had happened on that day, it's an it's really sad. And I don't also think that the intended consequence was that someone must lose their life. This child is traumatized by those actions. She's traumatized and frustrated also by the fact that she's removed from the care of her mother, and then now she's placed in a youth care center. She's not doing particularly good. It's a 14-year-old girl removed from a family setting and a family comfort. You can only imagine how she feels right now.
Lindo, quickly as we wrap with you now, the family of Lufuno, it's been a very tragic week, and for everybody, including the school itself, the children involved from the Mbilwi Secondary School. And just broadly, what was the mood like in court today?
Well, I can tell you, Braden, that we are not party to some of the proceedings happening in court. As we understand it, this is a Child Justice Act case, which means that it happens in camera, away from the public and away from us as the media. But what we are depending on in terms of the updates is, of course, the attorney for the 14-year-old, as well as Mashudu, the National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson in Limpopo. And I can tell you that as far as we can gather, it's just the magistrate, it's the investigating officer, and it's the NPA who is able to give us some information, as well as those that are defending and the prosecution. But at this stage, I can tell you that the family, when we spoke to them last, they were the ones, in fact, who came forward and said that they are not calling for anyone to be arrested. They're saying that this is something that will not bring their daughter back. And I spoke to the brother just in terms of attending the case, and he said that they were not much interested in that. The only thing they were looking forward to, if at all it's ever going to happen, was a visit from the family of this particular 14-year-old who is before court today, just to get a sense of what they are feeling and speak to them and just tell them that they do not hold any grudges against them. So at this stage, we don't have any sense of what happens in court, but we know that the postponement today was caused by the fact that the magistrate who was in the first appearance was not at court today, and the National Prosecuting Authority says that they want that particular magistrate to continue with this case, as he knows the initial details and the evidence around this case.
Thank you very much, Lindokuhle Xulu, outside the Toyando Magistrates Court in Limpopo.